Dr. E.B. Scarlett. Thank you for all coming down to our production of Macbeth today. How's everyone doing? Sweet, awesome, good to hear. So we just have a couple housekeeping things to go over before we get started. First of all, we'd like to acknowledge the traditions and oral practices of the people of the Treaty 7 region of southern Alberta. This includes the Blackfoot Confederacy, comprising the Siksika, Piikani, and Kainai First Nations, the Tsuut'ina First Nation, and the Stoney Nakoda, comprising the Bearspaw, Wesley, and Chiniki First Nations. Additionally, the city of Calgary is home to the Métis Nation of Alberta, Region 3. So, anyways, I'm not going to tell you to turn your cell phones off, because let's be real, none of us do that anyways. So just take it out right now, make sure it's on silent, and refrain from taking any flash photography or video, just because the whole show is being recorded tonight by the lovely Mr. Pros. And it's going to be uploaded a couple weeks after our show, so you can watch it back then. We will have a concession set up tonight, which is supporting a local Calgary cancer charity. And the total run of the show, it's about 2 hours, 10 minutes, with a 15-minute intermission halfway through, at which point you can get up, get some snacks, go to the washroom. And if at any point you need to get up during the show, just take a look down the aisles and down the front here, because we'll have people playing all throughout the house tonight. We do have a few unusual special effects that we're using tonight. Some of our new strobe lights, not very strong, but we do have some lightning flashes throughout the play. Lots of fake blood and fog as well. That should be all for me. So please enjoy Macbeth.
Yeah.
What bloody man is that? He can report, as seemeth by his plight of the revolt, the new estate.
This is the captain, who like a good and hardy soldier fought against my captivity. Hail, brave friend, and say to the king the knowledge of the broil as thou didst leave it.
Doubtful it stood, as two spent swimmers that do cling together and choke their art. The merciless MacDonald, worthy to be a villain, for to that the multiplying villainies of nature do swarm upon her. From the western isles of Cairns and Gallowglasses is supplied, and fortune on her damned quarrel, smiling, showed like a rebel's whore. But all's too weak for brave Macbeth. Well, he deserves that name, disdaining fortune with his brandished steel, which smoked with bloody execution. Like Valor's minion, carved out his passage, till he faced the slave which ne'er shook hands nor bade farewell to him. Till he unseamed her from the nave to the chops, and fixed her head upon our battlement.
Oh, valiant cousin, worthy gentleman.
As whence the sun gains his reflection, shipwrecking storms and direful thunders break. So from that spring whence comfort seemed to come, discomfort swells. Mark, King of Scotland, mark! No sooner justice had, with valor armed, compelled these skipping currents to trust their heels, but then their way and lords, serving vantage, with furbished arms and new supplies of men, began a fresh assault.
Dismay not this our captains Macbeth and Banquo.
Yes, as sparrows, eagles over there, the lion. If I say sooth, but I must report, they were as cannons overcharged with double cracks, so they doubly redoubled, strokes upon the foe. But I am faint, my gashes cry for help.
So well thy words become thee as thy wounds, they smack of honor both. Who comes here?
The worthy Thane Ross, but a haste flits through her eyes, so should she look, it seems to speak things strange.
God save the king.
Whence camst thou, worthy thing?
From Fife, great king, where the Norwegian banners flood the sky and fan our people cold. Norway himself with terrible numbers, assisted by that most disloyal traitor. The Thane of Carter began a dismal conflict, until Macbeth, laughed in proof, confronted her with self-comparisons, point against point, rebellious arm against arm, curbing her lavish spirit. And to conclude, the victory fell on us.
Oh, great happiness! No more that Thane of Cawdor shall deceive our bosom interest. Go pronounce her present death, and with her former title greet Macbeth.
I'll see it done.
What she hath lost, noble Macbeth hath won.
Where hast thou been, sister?
Killing swine.
Sister, where thou? A sailor's wife had chestnuts in her lap, and munched and munched and munched. Give me, quoth I. Aroint thee, witch, the rum-fed Runyon cried. Her husband's to Lepo gone, the master of the tiger, and in a sieve I'll thither sail, and like a rat without a tail. I'll do, and I'll do. I'll give thee a wind, thou art kind.
And I another.
I myself of all the others, in the very ports they blow, in the quarters that they know, in the shipman's yard, I'll drain him dry as hay, sleep shall neither night nor day, hang upon his penthouse lid. He shall live, a man forbid. Weary 7 nights, 9 times 9 shall he dwindle, peak and pine, and though his bark cannot be lost, yet it shall be tempest-tossed. Look what I have.
Show me, show me.
Here I have a pilot's thumb, wrecked as homeward he did come. A drum! Macbeth doth come. The weird sisters, hand in hand, posters of the sea and land, thus to go about, thrice to thine and thrice to mine, and thrice again to make up 9. Peace! The charms wound up.
So foul and fair a day I have not seen. How far is it called to Forez? What are these, so wicked and wild in their attire that look not like the inhabitants of the earth and yet are on it? Live you, or are you aught what man may question? You understand me by each at once laying your chappy finger upon your skinny lips. You should be women, yet your beards forbid me to interpret that you are so.
Speak if you can. What are you?
All hail Macbeth! Hail to thee, Thane of Glamis!
All hail Macbeth! Hail to thee, Thane of Cawdor!
All hail Macbeth, that shalt be king hereafter!
Good sir, why do you start and seem to fear things that do sound so fair? In the name of truth, are ye fantastical, or in which you outwardly show? My partner you greet with present grace and great prediction. To me you speak not. If you can look into the seeds of time, and say which grain shall grow and which shall not, speak then unto me, for I neither beg nor fear your favors nor your hate.
Hail!
Hail!
Hail! Greater than Macbeth, but lesser.
Not as happy, yet much happier.
Thou shalt get kings, though thou be none. So all hail, Macbeth and Banquo.
Banquo and Macbeth, all hail!
Stay, you imperfect speakers. Tell me more. By Simon's death, I know I am Thane of Glamis. But how of Cawdor? The Thane of Cawdor lives, a prosperous gentlewoman. And to be king stands not within the prospect of belief. Say from whence you owe this strange intelligence, or why upon this blasted heath you stop us with such prophetic greeting. Speak, I charge you!
The earth hath bubbles as the water has. Whither have they vanished?
Into the air, and what seemed corporal melted as breath into the wind. Would they had stayed!
Were such things here that we do speak about, or have we been eating upon the insane root that takes the reason prisoner?
Your children shall be kings!
You shall be king.
And Thane of Cawdor too, went it not so?
Oh, to the self-same tune and words. Who's here?
The king hath happily received, Macbeth, the news of thy success. And when he reads thy personal venture in the rebels' fight, his wonders and his praises do contend which should be thine or his. Silenced with that viewing over the rest of the self-same day, he finds thee in the stout Norwegian ranks, nothing afeard of what thyself didst make strange images of death. As thick as tale composed with post and everyone did bear, thy praises in his kingdom's great defense, and pour them down before him.
We are sent to give thee our royal master thanks, only to herald thee into his sight, not pay thee.
And, for an earnest of a greater honor, he bade me, from him, call thee Thane of Cawdor, in which tradition, hail, most worthy Thane, for it is thine.
Hail!
What? Can the devil speak true? The Thane of Cawdor lives. Why do you dress me in borrowed robes?
Who wasn't Thane lives yet, with under heavy judgment bears, which she deserves to lose, whether combined with those of Norway, or did line the rebel with hidden help advantage, if not both. She labored in her country's wrack, and treason, capital, confessed proof, overthrown her.
Clarence and Thane of Cawdor. The greatest is behind. Thank you, gentlewomen. Do you not hope that your children shall be kings, when those who gave the Thane of Cawdor to me promised no less to them?
That my entrusted home might yet enkindle you unto the crown, besides Thane of Cawdor. But 'tis strange, and oftentimes the instruments of darkness, winners with truths, tell us honest trifles, to betray is the deepest consequence. Cousins, a word I pray you.
Two truths are told, as happy prologues to the swelling act of the imperial theme. Thanks for your pains. This supernatural soliciting cannot be ill, cannot be good. If ill, why hath it given me earnest of success, commencing in a truth? I am Thane of Cawdor. If good, why do I yield to that suggestion, which doth unfix my hair, and make my seated heart knock against my ribs, against the use of nature? Present fears are less than horrible imaginings, my thought, whose murder is yet but fantastical, shakes so my state of man, that function is smothered in surmise, and nothing is but what is not.
Look how our partner's wrapped.
If chance will have me king, why, chance may crown me without my stir.
New honors come upon him, like our strange garments. cling not to their mold, but with the aid of use.
Come what? Come may, time and the hour run through the roughest day.
Worthy Macbeth, we stay upon your leisure.
Give me your favor. My dull brain was wrought with things forgotten. Kind gentlewomen, your pains are registered where every day I turn the leaf to read them. Let us toward the king. Think upon what hath chanced, and at more time, the interim having waited, let us speak our free hearts each to other.
At your kindest leisure.
Till then, enough.
Is execution done on Cawdor? Are not those in commission yet returned?
My liege, they are not yet come back, but I have spoke with one that saw her die, who did report that, very frankly, she confessed her treasons, implored your highness's pardon, and set forth a deep repentance. Nothing in her life became her like believing it. She died as one that had been studied in her death, to throw away the dearest thing she owed us, twere a careless trifle.
There's no art to find the mind's construction in the face. She was a gentlewoman on whom I built an absolute trust. Oh, well, the sin of my ingratitude even now is heavy on me. The swiftest wing of recompense is slow to overtake me. Would thou hadst less deserved that the proportion of both thanks and payment might have been mine. Only I have left to say, more is thy due, the more than all can pay.
The service and the loyalty I owe in doing it pays itself. Your highness's part is to receive our duties, and our duties are to your throne and state children and servants, which do but what they should, by doing everything safe towards your love and honor.
Welcome hither. I have begun to plant thee and will labor to make thee full of good. Noble Banquo, that has no less deserved, nor must be known no less to have done so. Let me enfold thee and hold thee to my heart.
There, Fibro, the harvest is your own.
My plenteous joys, wanton in fullness, seek to hide themselves in drops of sorrow. Sons, kinsfolk, thanes, and you whose places are nearest, know we will establish our estate upon our eldest, Mara, whom we name hereafter the Princess of Cumberland, which honor must not unaccompanied invest her only, but signs of nobleness like stars shall shine on all deservers. From hence to Inverness and bind us further to you.
The rest is labor which is not used for you. I'll be myself the harbinger and make joyful the hearing of my wife with your approach. So humbly take my leave.
My worthy Cawdor.
The Princess of Cumberland. That is a step on which I must fall down, or else o'erleap, for in my way it lies. Stars, hide your fires. Let not light see my black and deep desires. The eye wink at the hand, yet let that be which the eye fears when it is done to see.
Oh, true worthy Banquo, he is full so valiant, and in his commendations I am fed. It is a banquet to me. Let's after him, whose care has gone before to bid us welcome. It is a peerless kinsman.
They met me in the day of success, and I have learned by the perfectest report that they have more in them than mortal knowledge. When I burned in desire to question them further, they made themselves into air into which they vanished, whiles I stood wrapped in the wonder of it, came missives from the king, who all hailed me Thane of Cawdor, by which title before these weird sisters saluted me too the oncoming of time with, Hail King that shalt be. This have I thought good to deliver to thee, my dearest partner of greatness, for thou mightst not lose the dues of rejoicing by being ignorant of what greatness is promised thee. Lay it to thy heart, and farewell. glams thou art, and Cawdor, and shalt be what thou art promised. Yet do I fear thy nature. It is too full of the milk of human kindness to catch the nearest way. Thou wouldst be great. Art, not without ambition, but without the illness should attend it. What thou wouldst highly, that which thou wouldst holily, wouldst not play false, and yet would strongly win. Thou'dst have, great glams, that which cries, thus thou must do, and rather that which thou dost fear to do than wishest should be undone. Hie thee hither, that I may pour mine spirits in thine ear, and chastise with the valor of my tongue all that impedes thee from the golden round, which fate and metaphysical aid doth seem to have thee crowned withal. What is your tidings?
The king comes here tonight.
And when goes hence? Thou art mad to sate. Is not thy master with him? Who were it would have informed for preparation?
So please you, it is true, our Thane is coming. My fellow, who almost at the speed of him, had scarcely more to make up his message.
Give him tending. He brings great news. The raven himself grows hoarse that croaks the fatal entrance of Duncan under my battlements. Come, you spirits that tend on mortal thoughts, unsex me here and fill me from the crown to the toe, top full of direst cruelty. Make thick my blood, stop up the passage and access to remorse, that no compunctious visitings of nature shall shake my fell purpose, nor keep peace between the effect and it. Come to my woman's breast and take my milk for gall, you murdering ministers, wherever in your sightless substances you dwell on nature's mischief. Come, thick night, and pall thee in the dunnest smoke of hell, that my keen knife see not the wound it makes, nor heaven cry through the blanket of the dark, to cry, hold! Hold! Great clams, worthy Cawdor. Greater than both, by the all hail hereafter, thy words have transported me beyond this ignorant present, and I feel now the future in the instant.
My dearest love, Duncan comes here tonight.
And when goes hence?
Tomorrow, as he purposes.
Oh, never shall sun that morrow see. Your face, my Thane, is as a book where men may read strange matters, to beguile the time. Look like the time. They're welcome in your eye, your hand, your tongue. Look like the innocent flower, but be the serpent under it. He that's coming must be provided for, and you shall put this night's great business into my dispatch, which shall, to all our nights and days to come, give solely sovereign sway and masterdom.
We will speak further.
Only look up clear. To alter favor ever is to fear. Leave all the rest to me.
This castle has a pleasant seat. The air nimbly and sweetly recommends itself unto our gentle senses.
This guest of summer, the temple-haunting varlet is approved. By his love imaginary, the heaven's breath smells good, we hear. No jutting, frieze, buttress, nor point of vantage, but this bird hath made its pendant bed and procreant cradle, where it most breeds and haunts. I've observed, the hair is delicate.
Ah, see, our honored hostess. The love that follows us sometimes is our trouble, which still we thank as love. Herein, I teach you how to bid God ill us for your pains, and thank us for your trouble.
All our services, and every point twice done, and then done double, were poor and single business to contend against those honors wherewith your majesty loads our house.
Where's the Thane of Cawdor? We course him at the heels and had a purpose to be his purveyor, but he rides well, and his great love sharp as a spur of Holcomb to his home before us. Fair and noble hostess, we are your guest.
Our servants ever have theirs themselves, and what is theirs in common, to make audit at your highness's pleasure, still to return your own.
Give me your hand. Conduct me to mine host. We love him highly and shall continue our graces towards him. By your leave, hostess.
If it were done when 'tis done, then 'twere well it were done quickly. If the assassination could trammel up the consequence and catch with his surcease success, that but this blow might be the be-all end-all here. But we still have judgment here, that we but teaching bloody instructions, which, being taught, return to plague the inventor. This even-handed justice commends the ingredients of our poisoned chalice to our own lips. He's here in double trust. First, as I am his subject and his kinsman, strong both against the deed. Then as his host, who should against his murderer shut the door, not bear the knife myself. Besides, this Duncan hath borne his faculties so meek, hath been so clear in his great office, that his virtues will plead like angels, trumpet-tongued against the deep damnation of his taking off. And tears shall drown the wind. I have no spur to prick the sides of my intent, only vaulting ambition, which o'erleaps itself and falls on the other. How now? What news?
Why have you left the chamber? He has almost supped.
Hath he asked for me?
No, you not, he has.
We will proceed no further in this business. He hath honored me of late, and I have bought golden opinions from all sorts of people, which would be worn now in their newest gloss, not cast aside so soon.
Was the hope drunk, wherein you dressed yourself this morning? Hath it slept since, and wakes it now to look so green and pale at what it did so freely? From this time such I account thy love. Art thou a fear to be the same in thine own act and valor as thou art in desire? And now have thou which thou esteem'st the ornament of life, and live a coward in thine own esteem, letting I dare not wait upon thy war.
Prithee! Peace! I dare do all that may become a man. Who dares do more is none.
What beast was it then that made you break this enterprise to me? When you durst do it, then you were a man. And to be more than what you were, you would be so much more the man. I have given suck, and know how tender 'tis to love the babe that milks me. I would, while it was smiling in my face, have plucked my nipple from his boneless gums and dashed the brains out, had I so sworn as you have done to them.
If we should fail!
We fail? Screw your courage to the sticking place and will not fail. When Duncan is asleep, will I, with wine and wassail, so convinced that memory, the warder of the brain, shall be a fume, and the receipt of reason a limbeck only, when in swinish sleep his drenched natures lies in a death, what cannot you and I perform upon the unguarded Duncan? What not put upon his spongy officers, who shall bear the guilt of our great quell?
Bring forth men, children only, for thy undaunted metal should compose nothing but males. Will it not be received when we have marked with blood those sleepy two of his own chamber, and use their very daggers that they have done it?
Who dares receive it other, as we shall make our griefs and clamor roar upon his death?
I am settled, and bend up each corporal agent to this terrible feat. Away and mock the time with fairest show. False face must hide what the false heart doth know.
How goes the night, my girl?
The moon is down. I have not heard the clock.
And she goes down at 12.
I take it to Slider, sir.
Hold, take my sword. There's husbandry in heaven, and their candles are all out. Take thee that too. This lies like a piece of lead upon me, and yet I would not sleep. Merciful powers restrain me in the way that nature gives to in response. Hold, who's there?
A friend.
What, sir? Not yet at rest. The king's abed, he hath been an unusual pleasure, and sent forth great largesse to your offices. The diamond he greets your wife withal, with the title of most kind hostess, and shut up in measureless content.
Being unprepared, our will became the servant to defect, which else should free have wrought.
All's well. I dreamt last night of the 9 weird women. To you they have shown some truth.
I think not of them. Yet when we can entreat an hour to serve, we would spend it in some words upon that business, if you would grant the time.
At your kindest leisure.
If you shall cleave to my consent, when 'tis, it shall make honor for you.
So I lose none in seeking to augment it, but still keep my bosom franchised and allegiance clear. I shall be counsel.
Good repose the while.
Thank you, sir. Belike to you.
Go bid thy mistress when my drink is ready, she strike upon the bell. Get thee to bed. Is this a dagger which I see before me? The handle toward my hand. Come, let me clutch thee. I have thee not, yet I see thee still. Art thou not, fatal vision, sensible to feeling as to sight? Or art thou but a dagger of the mind, a false creation proceeding from the heat oppressed brain? Thou marshallest me the way that I was going, and such an instrument I was to use. I see thee still, and on thy blade in dudgeon gouts of blood which were not so before. There's no such thing! It is the bloody business which informs thus to mine eyes. Now o'er the one-half world nature seems dead, and wicked dreams abuse the curtain's sleep. Thou sure and firm set earth, hear not my steps, which way they walk. For fear thy very stones prate of my whereabout, and take the present horror from the time, which now suits with it. Whiles I threat, he lives. Words to the heat of deeds too cold breath gives. I go, and it is done. The bell invites me. Hear it not, Duncan, for it is a knell that summons thee to heaven or to hell.
Sleep no more. Macbeth does murder sleep. Sleep no more.
That which hath made them drunk hath made me bold. What hath quenched them hath given me fire. Hark! Peace. It was the owl that shrieked, the fatal bellman which gives the stern's good night. He is about it, and the surfeited grooms do mock their charge with snores.
Who's there? What ho?
Alack, I am afraid they have awaked, and 'tis not done. They attempted not the deed. Confounds us. Hark, I laid their daggers ready. He could not miss 'em. Had he not resembled my father as he slept, I had done it. And my husband.
I have done the deed. Didst thou not hear a noise?
I heard the crickets cry and the owls scream. Did not you speak?
When?
Now,
As I descended,
I,
hark! Who lies in the second chamber?
Donald Bain.
This is a sorry sight.
A foolish thought to say a sorry sight.
There's one did laugh in his sleep, and one cried, "Murder!" But they did wake each other. I stood and heard them. But they did say their prayers and addressed them again to sleep.
There are two lodged together.
One cried, "God bless us," and amen the other, as they had seen me with these hangman's hands.
Consider it not so deeply.
But wherefore could I not pronounce amen? I was most in need of blessing, and amen stuck in my throat.
These deeds must not be thought after these ways. So it will make us mad.
Methought I heard a voice cry, "Sleep no more! Macbeth does murder sleep." The innocent sleep. Sleep that knits up the raveled sleeve of care. The death of each day's life. Sore labor's bath. Balm of hurt minds. Great nature's second course. Chief nourisher in life's feast. Still it cried, "Sleep no more," to all the house. Glamis hath murdered sleep, and therefore Cawdor shall sleep no more. Macbeth shall sleep no more.
My worthy Thane, you do unbend your noble strength to think so brain-sickly things. Go, get some water and wash this filthy witness from your hands. Why have you brought the daggers from the place? They must lie there. Go, carry them and smear the sleeping grooms with blood.
I'll go no more. I'm afraid to think what I have done. Look on it again, I dare not.
Infirm of purpose, give me the daggers. The sleeping and the dead are but as pictures. 'Tis the eye of childhood that fears a painted devil. If ye do bleed, I'll gild the faces of the grooms withal, for it must seem their guilt.
Whence is that knocking? How is it with me when every noise appalls me? What hands are these? They pluck out mine eyes! Will all great Neptune's ocean wash this blood clean from my hands? No. This my hand will rather the multitudinous seas incarnadine, making the green one red.
My hands are of your color, but I shame to wear a heart so white. I hear knocking at the south entry. Retire we to our chamber. A little water clears us of the deed. How easy is it then? Your constancy hath left you unattended. Hark, more knocking. Put on your nightgown, lest occasion call us to be watchers. Be not lost so poorly in your thoughts.
To know my deed, 'twere best not know myself. Wake Duncan with thy knocking. I would thou couldst.
Here's a knocking indeed. If a man were porter of Hellgate, he should have old turning the key. Knock, knock. Who are you? Who are you in the name of Beelzebub? Here's a farmer that hanged himself on the expectation of plenty. Come in time, have napkins, enough about you. Here, you'll sweat for it. Knock, knock! Who are you with the other devil's name? Faith! Here's an equivocator who hanged himself. Here's an equivocator who could swear in both scales against either scale, who committed treason enough for God's sake, yet could not equivocate to heaven. Oh, come in, equivocator! Anon, anon! I pray you, remember the porter.
So late, friend, ere you went to bed, that you do lie so late?
Ah, faith, ma'am. We're carousing till the second cock. And drink, ma'am. It is a great provoker of 3 things.
Oh, and what 3 things does drink especially provoke?
Mary, ma'am. Nose painting, sleep, and urine. Lechery, ma'am. It provokes and unprovokes. It provokes the desire, but takes away the performance. It makes him. It mars him. It sets him on, but it sets him off. It makes him stand to and not stand to. In conclusion, equivocates him in his sleep, and giving him the lie, leaves him.
I believe drink gave thee the lie last night.
That it did, ma'am. But I requited him for his lie, and I think being too strong for him, though he may have taken up my leg sometime, I made a shift to cast it.
Is thy master stirring? Our knocking has awakened him. Here he comes. Good morrow, noble sir.
Good morrow, both.
Is the king stirring, worthy thane?
Not yet.
He did command me to call timely upon him, and I have almost slipped the hour.
I'll bring you to him.
I know this is a joyful trouble to you, but yet 'tis one.
The labor we delight in physics pain. This is the door.
I'll make so bold to call, which is my limited service.
Goes the king hence today?
He does. He did appoint so.
The night has been unruly. Where we lay, our chimneys were blown down, and, as they say, lamentings heard in the air. Strange screams of death and prophesizing with accents terrible, of dire combustion and confused events, new hatched to a woeful time. The obscure bird clamored the livelong night. Some say the earth was feverous and did shake.
'Twas a rough night.
My young remembrance cannot parallel a fellow to it.
Oh, horror! Horror! Horror, tongue nor heart can conceive nor name thee.
What's the matter?
Approach the chamber. Most sacrilegious murder hath broke up the Lord's anointed temple and stole thence the life of the building.
What is it you say? The life.
Mean you, his majesty?
Approach the chamber and destroy your knights, your sight of the new Gorgon. Do not bid me speak. See and then speak yourselves. Ring the alarm bell! Murder and treason! Banquo and Jonathan, Mara, awake! Shake off this downy sleep's death's counterfeit and look upon death itself. Up and see the angel's image. Mara, Banquo, as from your grace, rise up and walk like sprites to countenance this horror. Ring the bell!
What's the business that such a hideous trumpet calls to parley the sleepers of this hour?
Oh, gentle lady, 'tis not for you to hear what I can speak. The repetition would murder as it fell. Oh, Banquo, our royal father's master's murdered.
Dear Duff, I prithee, contradict thyself and say it is not true. Had I died but an hour before this chance, I had lived a blessed time. For from this instant there's nothing serious in mortality. All is but toys. Renown and grace is dead. The wine of life is drawn, and the mere lees is left this vault to brag of.
What is amiss?
You are, and do not know it. The spring, the head, the fountain of your blood is stopped. The very source of it is stopped.
Your royal father's murdered.
By whom? Those of his chamber, as it seemed, had done it. Their hands and faces were all badged with blood. So were their daggers, which, unwiped, we found upon their pillows. They stared and were distracted. No man's life was to be trusted with them.
Oh, yet I do repent me of my fury, that I did kill them.
Wherefore did you so?
Who can be wise, amazed, temperate and furious, loyal and neutral in a moment? No man. Here lie Duncan, his silver skin laced with his golden blood, and his gashed stabs looked like a breach in nature. Here, the murderers steeped in the colors of their trade, their daggers unmannerly breached with gore. Who could refrain? Who had a heart to love, and in that heart, courage to make his love known?
Oh, help me hence home!
Look to the lady. Why do we hold our tongues that most may claim this argument for ours?
What should be spoken here? Where our fate, hidden in auger hole, may rush and seize us. We must away. Our tears are not yet brewed.
For our strong sorrow, on the foot of motion.
Look to the lady.
Oh,
When we have our naked frailties hid that suffer from exposure, let us meet and question this most bloody piece of work. To know it further, fears and scruples shake us. And in the great hand of God I stand, and thence against the undivulged pretense I fight of treasonous malice.
and so do I.
So all! Let's briefly put on manly readiness and meet in the hall together.
Well contented.
What will you do? Let's not consort with them. To show an unfelt sorrow is an office which the false man does easy. Out to England.
To Ireland, aye. Our separate fortune shall keep us both the safer. Where we are, there's daggers in men's smiles. The near in blood, the nearer bloody.
The murderous shaft that shot hath not yet lighted, and our safest way is to avoid the aim. Therefore, to horse, and let us not be dainty of leave-taking, but shift away. There's warrant in that theft which steals itself when there's no mercy left.
Threescore 10 I can remember well, within the volume of which time I have seen hours dreadful and things strange. But this sore night hath trifled former knowings.
Ah, good father, thou seest the heavens as trouble as man's act, threatens his bloody stage. By the clock 'tis day, and yet dark night strangles a traveling lamp. It's night's predominance, or day's shame, that darkness does the face of earth, when living light should kiss it.
'Tis unnatural. Ugh. Even like the deed that's done. On Tuesday last, a falcon, towering in her pride of place, was by a mousing owl hawked at and killed.
And Duncan's horses, a thing most strange and certain, beauteous and swift, the minions of their race, turned wild in nature, breaking their stalls, flung out, contending against obedience as they were make war with mankind.
'Tis said they eat each other.
They did so, and to the amazement of mine eyes that has ever looked upon. Here comes the good Macduff. How goes the world, sir, now?
Why, see you not?
Is known who did this more than bloody deed?
Those that Macbeth hath slain.
Alas a day, what good could they pretend?
They were suborned. Mara and Donalbain, the king's two children, are stolen away and fled, which puts upon them suspicion of the deed.
Gainst nature still, thriftless ambition that will raven up thine own lives, and sovereignty will fall upon Macbeth.
He is already named and gone to Scone to be crowned.
Will you to Scone?
No, cousin, I'll to Fife.
Well, I will thither.
Well, may you see things well done there. Adieu, and lest our old robes sit easier than our new.
Farewell, father.
May God's benison go with you, and with those that would make good of bad and friend of foes.
Thou hast it now, King, Cawdor, Glamis, all, just as the weird women had promised. And yet it was said, it should not stand in thy posterity, but that I myself should be the root and father of many kings, and if truth come from them, is upon thee, Macbeth. May they not be my oracles as well. But hush, no more.
Here's our chief guest.
If he had been forgotten, it had been as a gap in our great feast, an all thing unbecoming.
Tonight we hold a solemn supper, sir, and I'll request your presence.
My duties to the throne are with a most indissoluble tie, forever knit.
Ride you this afternoon?
Aye, my good lord.
We had else desired your good advice, which still hath been both grave and prosperous in this day's council. But we'll take tomorrow. Is it far you ride?
As far, my lord, as will fill at the tide. I must become a borrow of the night for a dark hour, twain.
Fail not our feast.
My good lord, I will not.
We hear our bloody cousins are bestowed in England and in Ireland, not confessing their cruel parricide, filling their hearers with strange invention. But of that tomorrow, when therewithal we shall have cause of state craving us jointly. Hie you to horse, till you return at night. Goes Fleance with you.
Aye, my lord. The time does call upon us.
I wish your horses swift and sure of foot, and so I do commend you to their backs. Farewell. Let every man be master of his time till 7 at night. To keep society the sweeter welcome, we will keep ourselves till supper time alone. While then, God be with you. Sirrah, a word with you. Attend those men our pleasure.
They are, my lord, without the palace gate.
Bring them before us. To be thus is nothing but to be safely thus. Our fears in Banquo stick deep, and in his royalty of nature reigns that which should be feared. There is none but his being I do fear. He chid the sisters when first they placed the name of king upon me, and bade them speak to him. Then, prophet-like, they hailed him father to a line of kings. Upon my head they placed a fruitless crown, and put a barren scepter in my grip, thence to be wrenched with an unlineal hand, no son of mine succeeding. If it be so, for Banquo's issue have I filed my mind. For them the gracious Duncan have I murdered, to make them kings, the seat of Banquo kings. Rather than so, come fate unto the list, and champion me to the utterance. Who's there? Now go to the door and stay there till we call. Was it not yesterday we spoke together?
It was, so please your highness.
Well now, have you considered of my speeches? Know that it was he, in times past, who held you so under fortune, which you thought had been our innocent self. This I passed in probation with you, how you were born in hand, how crossed, the instruments, who wrought with them, and to half a soul and a notion crazed, say, thus did Banquo.
You made it known to us.
I did so, and went further, which is now our point of second meeting. Do you find your patience so predominant in nature that you can let this go? In the catalogue he goes on. Now, if you have a station in the file, not in the worst rank of manhood, say it, and I will put that business in your bosoms, whose execution takes your enemy off, grapples you to the heart and love of us, who wears his health but sickly in his life, which in his death were perfect.
I am one, my liege, whom the vials blow and buffets of the world have sown sense and mirthless what I do spite the world.
And I another, so weary with disaster, ducked with fortune, that I would set my life on any chance. To end it, I'll be writ on it.
Both of you know Banquo was your enemy.
True, my lord.
So is he mine. And in such bloody distance that every minute of his being thrusts against my nearest of life. And though I could with barefaced power sweep him from my sight and bid my will avouch him, yet I must not, for those friends who are both his and mine, whose loves I may not drop, would but wail his fall that I myself struck down. And thence it is that I to your assistance do make love, masking the business from the common eye, for sundry weighty reasons.
We shall, my lord. Perform what you command us.
Your spirits shine through you. Within this hour at most, I will advise you with the perfect spy of the time. The moment on it, for it must be done tonight. And to leave no rubs nor botches in the work, Fleance, his daughter, who accompanies him, whose absence is no less material to me than is her father's, must embrace the fate of that dark hour. Resolve yourselves apart. I'll come to you anon. It is concluded. Banquo, thy soul's flight, if it find heaven, must find it out tonight.
Is Banquo gone from court?
Aye, madame, but returns again tonight.
Say to the king I would attend his leisure for a few words.
Madame, I will.
Naught's had. All is spent. Where our desire is got without content. 'Tis safer to be that which we destroy than by destruction dwell in doubtful joy. How now, my lord? Why do you keep alone? Of sorriest fancies your companions making, using those thoughts which should indeed have died again with them they think on? Things without all remedy should be without regard. What's done is done.
We have scorched the snake, not killed it. She'll close and be herself, whilst our poor malice remains in danger of her former tooth. But let the frame of things disjoint. Both the worlds suffer an affliction of these terrible dreams that shake us nightly. Better be with the dead, whom we, to gain our peace, have sent to peace, than on the torture of the mind to lie in restless ecstasy. Duncan is in his grave. After life's fitful fever, he sleeps well. Treason has done his worst, nor steel nor poison, malice domestic, foreign levy. Nothing can touch him further.
Come on, gentle my lord, sleek over your rugged looks. Be bright and jovial among your guests tonight.
So shall I, love, and so I pray be you. Oh, full of scorpions is my mind, dear wife. Thou knowest that Banquo and his fleance lives.
But in them nature's copy's not eternal.
There's comfort yet. They are assailable. Then be thou jocund, ere the black bat hath flown his cloistered flight, ere to black Hecate's summons, the shard-born beetle with his drowsy hums hath rung night's yawning peal. There shall be done a deed of dreadful note.
What's to be done?
Be innocent of the knowledge, dearest Chuck, till thou applaud the deed. Thou marvelest at my words, but hold thee still. Things have begun make strong themselves by ill. So prithee, go with me.
But who did bid thee join with us?
Macbeth. He needs not our mistrust, since he delivers our offices and what we have to do to the direction just.
Then stand with us. Near approaches the subject of our watch.
Hark, I hear horses.
Give me a light there.
Then Tissy, all that are in the note of expectation are already in the court.
His horses go about.
Almost a mile, so feet as usually, as all men do, from hence to Palace Gate make it their walk.
Stand to it.
A light, a light.
Tis he?
Shall be rain tonight.
Let it come down.
Fly, good players! Fly! Fly!
Oh, slave.
There's but one down. The daughter's fled.
We've lost the best half of our affair.
Well, let's away and see how much is done.
You know your own degrees. Sit down. At first and last, the hearty welcome.
Thanks to your majesty.
Ourself will mingle with society and play the humble host. Our hostess keeps her state, but in best time we will require her welcome.
Pronounce it for me, sir. To all our friends, for my heart speaks, they are welcome.
See? They encounter thee in their heart's thanks. Both sides are even. Here I'll sit in the midst. Be large in mirth, anon we'll drink a measure the table round. There's blood upon thy face.
This banquet's then.
'Tis better thee without than he within. Is he dispatched?
I, my good lord, his throat is cut. That I did for him.
Thou art the best of the cutthroats. Yet he's good that did the like for Fleance. If thou didst it, thou art the non-peril.
My royal sir, Fleance has escaped.
Then comes my fit again. I had else been perfect, whole as the marble, founded as the rock, as broad and general as the casing air. But now I am cabined, cribbed, confined, bound into saucy doubts and fears. But Banquo's safe.
I, my good lord, safe in a ditch he bites, with 20 grinching gashes on his head. That I did for him.
Thanks for that. There the grown serpent lies. The worm that's fled hath nature that in time will venom breed. No teeth for the present. Get thee gone. Tomorrow we'll hear ourselves again.
My royal lord, you do not give the cheer. The feast is not often sold, while 'tis vouched 'tis given with welcome. To feed were best at home, from thence sauce to meat, a ceremony meeting were bare without it.
Sweet remembrancer. Now, good digestion wait on appetite, and health on both.
May it please your highness, sit.
Here have we now our country's honor root, where the graced person of our Banquo present, whom may I rather challenge for unkindness than pity for mischance.
His absence, sir, lays blame upon his promise. Please your highness to grace us with your royal company?
The table's full.
Here is a place reserved, sir.
Where?
Here, my good lord. What is it that moves your highness?
Which of you have done this?
What, my good lord?
Thou canst not say I did it! Never shake thy gory locks at me!
Gentlemen, rise. His highness is unwell. Sit, worthy friends. My lord is often thus, and hath been from his youth. I pray you keep seat. The fit is but momentary. Upon a thought he will again be well. If much you note him, you shall offend him and extend his passion. Feed and regard him not. Are you a man?
Aye, and a bold one that dare look on that which might appall the devil.
Infirm of purpose, why do you make such faces? When all's done, you look but on a stool.
Prithee, see there! Behold! Look! Lo! What say you? What care I? If thou canst not, speak too! If charnel houses and our graves must send those that we bury back, our monuments shall be the maws of kites!
What, quite unmanned in folly?
If I stand here, I saw him.
Fie, for shame!
Blood hath been shed ere now. The time has been when the brains were out, the man would die, and there an end. But now they rise again with 20 mortal murders on their crowns, and push us from our stools. This is more strange than such a murder is.
My royal lord, your noble friends do lack you.
I do forget. Do not muse at me, my most worthy friends. I have a strange infirmity, which is nothing to those who know me. Come, love and health to all. Then I'll sit down. Give me some wine. Fill full. I drink to the general joy of the whole table, and to Banquo, whom we miss. Would he were here! To all and him we thirst, and all to all.
Our duties and the pledge.
Avaunt! And quit my sight! Let the earth Hide thee! Thy bones are marrowless, thy blood is cold. Thou hast no speculation in those eyes which thou dost glare with.
Think of this, good friends, but as a thing of custom. 'Tis no other, only it spoils the pleasure of the time.
What man dare? I dare. Approach thou like the rugged Russian bear, the Hirschen tiger, or the armed rhinoceros. Take any form but that, and my firm nerves shall never tremble. Or be alive again, and dare me to the desert with thy sword. If trembling I inhabit then, protest me the baby of a girl. Hence, horrible shadow! Unreal mockery! Hence! Why so, being gone, I am a man again. I pray you sit still.
You have displaced the mirth, broke the good meeting, with most admired disorder.
Can such things be, and overcome us like a summer's cloud, without our special wonder? You make me strange, even to the disposition that I owe, when now I think you can behold such sights, and keep the natural ruby of your cheeks, when mine is blanched with fear.
What sights, my lord? I pray you, speak not. He grows worse and worse. Question enrages him. At once, good night. Stand not upon the order of your going, but go at once.
Good night, and better health attend his majesty.
A kind good night to all.
Blood will have blood, they say. Stones have been known to move, and trees to speak. What is the night?
Almost at odds with morning, which is which.
How sayest thou that Macduff denies his person at our great bidding?
Did you send to him, sir?
I hear it by the way, but I will send. There's not a one of them but in his house I keep a servant feed. Tomorrow I will, and betimes I will to the weird sisters. More shall they speak, for now I am bent to know, by the worst means, the worst. I am in blood stepped in so far that, should I wade no more, returning were as tedious as go o'er. Strange things I have in head, that will to hand, which must be acted ere they may be scanned.
You lack the season of all natures. Sleep.
Come, will to sleep. My strange and self-abuse is the initiate fear that wants hard use. We are yet but young indeed.
My former speeches have but hit your thoughts, which can interpret farther. Only I say, things have been strangely born. The gracious Duncan was pitied of Macbeth, Mary he was dead, and the right valiant Banquo walked too late, for whom you may say, if it please you, Fleance killed, for Fleance fled. Men must not walk too late. Who cannot want the thought how monstrous it was for Mara and for Donalbain to kill their gracious father? Damned fact, how it did grieve Macbeth. Did he not straight, in pious rage, the two delinquents tear? There were the slaves of drink and thralls of sleep. Was that not nobly done? Aye, and wisely too, for 'twould have angered any heart alive to hear the men deny it. So that I say he has borne all things well. And I do think, had he Duncan's children under his key, as an it please heaven he should not, they should learn what 'twere to kill a father. So should Fleance. But peace. For from broad words, and because she failed in the presence of the tyrant's feast, I hear Macduff lives in disgrace. Can you tell me where she bestows herself?
The daughter of Duncan, from whom the tyrant holds the due of birth, lives in the English court and is received as most pious Edward. Thither Macduff has gone to pray the English king upon his aid, to wake Northumberland and warlike seaward, that by the help of these with him above, to ratify the work, we may again bring to our tables meat, sleep to our nights, free from our feasts and banquets bloody knives, do faithful homage and receive free honors,
Sent he to Macduff?
He did, and with her absolute sir, not I. The cloudy messenger turns his back and hums as who should say, "You'll rue the time that clogs me with this sense, sir."
And that one might advise her to a caution to hold what distance her wisdom can provide. Some holy angel fly to the court of England and unfold a message, that a swift blessing may soon return to this our suffering country, under a hand accursed.
Send my prayers with her.
Treason, beldams as you are! Saucy and overbold, how did you dare to trade and traffic with Macbeth in riddles and affairs of death? And I, the master of your charms, the contriver of all harms, was never called to bear my part or show the glory of our art. And which is worse, all you have done has been but for our wayward son. Spiteful and wrathful, who as others do, loves for his own ends, not for you. But make amends now. Get you gone! And at the pit of Acheron meet me in the morning, so that he will come to know his destiny. Your vessels in your spells provide, your charms in everything beside. I am for the air. This night I'll spend unto a dismal and fatal end. Great business must be wrought ere noon. Upon the corner of the moon there hangs a vapor struck profound. I'll catch it ere it come to ground, and that distilled by magic's light shall raise such artificial sprites as by the strength of your illusion shall draw him unto his confusion. He shall spurn fate, storm death, and bear his hopes of wisdom, grace, and fear. And you all know security is mortal's chiefest enemy. Hark, and cold, my little spirit sea sits in a foggy cloud and stays for me.
Come, let us make haste.
I'm waking up to ash and dust.